Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth edition of Friday Evenings Talk with Amit. We have got a fantastic response on this subject of sex, love, and new physics from many of our viewers. People are anticipating what it is going to be and how quantum physics can get into something as esoteric as human relationships. But we will come to that. Before this, let us again reiterate our programs that are designed to help you reach a new level. We are tied up with the University of Jaipur in, uh, in a tie up which is about the master's and PhD courses in quantum physics of health, prosperity, and happiness. Now, why this course? Why a master's degree and a PhD degree? The reason is we understood to make significant change, we need deep understanding of what we are doing. We need deep understanding of the why before we find out how. Now, the world is in a very difficult state. If we look at whether it is climate problem or political issues or economic issues, and obviously the coronavirus issue, we are at war with something or the other. We believe that a change in worldview will help us solve our problems to a large extent. And what is that worldview? Why do we take up the endeavor to change our worldview? Is the primary thing that our master's and PhD courses are about. And not only that, these master's and PhD courses also have a number of applications. We have specialists in various disciplines like Valentina, who I will be introducing once again in a while. So those practitioners bring in a huge amount of applicable knowledge, which you can start using right away and start making changes, first for you and then for the rest of the world. These masters and PhD courses are designed for you to be the change maker. So if you want to make a change, you want to make a difference, please go to our website www.amitgoswami.org or write to us at info@www.amitgoswami.org. Now, coming back to one more thing before I move on to that subject is that though it says quantum physics of health, happiness, and health, prosperity, and happiness, it does not require any knowledge of physics, mathematics, or any other science subjects. If you have some, great. If you don't have, no deal, no big deal, because it is taught in a way that everyone with a rudimentary knowledge of logic will understand. So everyone is welcome. Come and look at this and see if it fits your bill. Now, going back to the thing that we started out with, that we have got an overwhelming response for Sex, Love, and New Physics, which is a video series. And just to reiterate again, this video series is a product of our thought that many of the master's and PhD courses by themselves are very attractive subjects which people would like relationships. It's a very attractive subject people would like, and people are liking this. We are getting questions on that subject. So we'll still have some questions. We thought we'll do something else today, but the questions will be continuing. So let me introduce first Dr. Amit Goswami. He is the quantum activist, and Dr. Goswami has been instrumental in bringing about this worldview change over the last 4 decades. And he has done it in numerous ways. He has written more than 10 books, and he has done workshops all over the world, all 5 continents. And even at this age too, he is continually engaging with people so that enlightenment prevails. And we also have Dr. Valentina Onisor. Dr. Onisor is a medical doctor, and in her quest to understand and go deeper into how a person, a human being, can be healed. She understood that our standard allopathic medicine is not fully adequate. Therefore, she went on to find out what else can work. And in doing so, he has amassed great understanding of an integrative system of healing. She is also a practitioner of quantum yoga, and she takes workshops again all throughout the world, helping people realize their potential. So now we'll go back to Dr. Goswami with our first question. And this question has come to us in many forms. Different people have asked these questions in different ways, but the crux of the matter is people want to know. Many people believe that love is sex and sex is love, they are interchangeable. What is your take about it?
Thank you, Krishanu. This is a very, very good question. What is the relationship of sex and love? Well, only the materialist thinking that everything got to be brain phenomenon. That's the materialist thinking about human beings in summary. Um, in that thinking, there is nothing but sex. Um, and whatever we get out of sex is actually a brain phenomenon. How we fit into that, of course, is a question that the materialist science cannot answer and does not care to answer. Their view is that we are just bystander of whatever is happening in the brain and the body. What is happening in the brain and the body? There is good answers for that. The molecules are real, experimentally found. The molecules are called, first of all, dopamine. That's a neurotransmitter molecules in the brain, and it's a molecule of pleasure. I mean, it's good. It feels good to have dopamine in your brain. And the other molecule that is often called the sex hormone is oxytocin. That too is, I don't have any objection about it. It's great while it lasts. So, sex indeed is a kind of molecular ecstasy that the brain and the body contributes to that too with oxytocin. But is that all there is? Now, here is the crucial question, and I will answer it in two different ways. First of all, look at how this scientific view, pleasure-centered view, grew. It was a reaction to religion. Religions were very subversive about sex and morality. Sex has all kinds of restrictions. So sex in that view is purely for reproduction. But animals do that, yes, animals mainly have sex for reproduction. But even monkeys, you can see that they're already coming out of that. They're already discovering a new function for sex, which is pleasure. So when materialist science came along, one of the big motivations is to free us from that religious dogma that sex is only for reproduction. We feel guilty if we go for pleasure. So they changed the dogma correctly to a new dogma, pleasure. Sex is for pleasure. Good. Certainly, the religious dogma is extremely limiting. Why is pleasure better? Because pleasure does open us to love. Do an experiment. If you have a sexual partner, it's wonderful. Otherwise, one can do something similar, but let's not, we don't have too much time. So I'll be a little bit short. So here's what you do. Have sex, and mostly the people who are confused about the distinction of sex and love are men. Women know about love. They are never going to be convinced by the materialist uh, selling point. Love is sex. No, they know that love exists. Love is not sex, but love exists as part of sex. And love is much, much more than sex, than pleasure. But the men, of course, they are the rational ones. They don't believe so much in emotions. They miss the positive emotion of love that you feel at the heart. They are oblivious. So, if you are a man, do this tonight if you have a sexual partner and willing. Go through the usual movements that you do, have your orgasm. And then you'll notice that the brain is telling you to sleep. How come? Because the molecule that was dopamine now is being replaced gradually by another molecule called serotonin. And this one is sleep inducer. So your tendency is to go to sleep. So usually males after sex turn over and go to sleep. Of course, women's sexuality is quite different. As I said, they are into love. So they want to cuddle because, orgasm is not like the explosive orgasm, male orgasm for them. It's a different thing. It's orgasm, but it's more continuous. I won't go into too much detail, but the fact is that women want you to cuddle. Your partner will want you to cuddle. Give in, okay? Please don't turn over and go to sleep. Give in. It won't hurt you. It will lead you to enormous new adventure. Give in to the cuddling. Give in to the cuddling and relax. Very soon you will find that, I'm feeling new feelings. Where? In the heart. And also new thinking. I care for this woman. I love her. I feel that. So what's happening? You have become relaxed. Your consciousness is literally expanded. So expanded that it includes your partner. And that is what we call happiness, my friend. Not the explosive happiness of pleasure. That too is happiness, it's a different kind. It's temporary. But this happiness, once you discover it, will not go away. It has more lasting capacity. This is why people compare married love with something that does not explode, but slow and kind of stays in the background. This is why we commit to marriage, so that that sense of love can continue all through our life. And of course, people who are married, they live longer, they live happily, etc., etc. Okay? Okay.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Goswami. In fact, I have another set of questions which I will bring in while I come back to you after I have a question for Valentina. Well, we have again from a set of questions we have selected a general understanding of what that most people are aware of books and literature saying that men and women are different emotionally, romantically, their behaviors are not similar. So, on this regard, people want to know what would be your take, the take of the quantum worldview.
Right. So, of course, couple relationship and as well the differences between men and women and the dynamics and the way we perceive everything, including sexuality and orgasms, is huge. It's huge to talk about this. But anyway, a couple relationship which is based on love, where you make love, not just have sex, is to be fully lived and as you feel as it is, and there are some guidelines to be integrated. But again, there are many differences between how we think, men and women. And it's not a reason for women to hate men or for men to hate women, which can happen after certain wounds appear and they are not healed. Yeah. Again, we are two different principles, men and women. But when we unify, we represent life itself. And that actually is a real engine for evolution. And this is how you should treat your relationship, a polar relationship. And polarity is very important, inner and outer polarity, just like the electricity functions, with the two poles which bring light in your house. And we need both men and women. And now from the creation viewpoint, so start just 2 words about that. Paramashiva, or God the Father, downward causation, Shiva and Shakti. You may have heard these words. In Sanskrit, Shiva represents the unmanifest, Purusha, or the soul. Shakti, manifest, Prakriti, the vital energy, the archetype of power. And not only Shakti, so the woman, the feminine energy actually, is consciousness impregnating matter, not less than that. Okay. And because science, again, if you think about yin and yang, is not exactly like that. Science doesn't like so much ambiguity. Yeah. But you can think like yin is unmanifest, transcendental, and yang is manifest. So you can say that's why men, we speak about yang. So if after a woman is hurt, she would say all the men are pigs, and the man may say all the women are materialists, for example. That person, so by this rejection of the polar part, is actually hurting her own soul or his own, because he's not recognizing and doesn't give credit to her masculine or feminine side. Yeah. So the woman energetically is the creative power of life, is the place from where life comes on earth. Yeah. And spiritually speaking, it means also that the woman has, first of all, greater responsibility in securing an emotional space to the others and to the man she loves also, because she is born with this creative capacity, And second, it means this makes her even more vulnerable and sensitive, because she's the one who will take care of that. This creative power will allow herself to recreate herself, even in dangerous situations. And also, she will see how to potentiate and even support the masculine energy that is different and more dynamic. Yeah. So from the quantum point of view, there are many differences, but the main ones, the manifestation difference, is brain, mental, or body, the vital. Yeah. From the vital perspective, you heard about chakras, I hope. Women usually have a weak navel chakra, Manipura chakra, the belly area, and men have a weaker heart, But again, that's just maybe native, because it's not always like that. You can meet other kind of the people, but still, this is usually the situation. And if you think of the women are more aware of their heart, whether it's romantic love or family, they take care of everybody. And the problems which can appear, for example, due to this lack of developing the navel chakra, is dependency or insecurity. Yeah. And that's where the woman has to work first, to build this self-confidence and also self-respect, and then the self-love, of course, because without that we cannot speak about loving somebody else. Yeah. And related to the brain, if you think of the emotions, the way midbrain and amygdala makes emotions process is very different. The women process this through the left hemisphere, and then this leads easily to expansion. Yeah. But of course, when it's too much of this expansion, and expressing of the emotions, this can lead to anxiety, for example. Yeah. And then for the man, it's different. It's this processing of the emotions happening through the right hemisphere. And that is why they suppress their emotions. They don't express. Yeah. And all this remains in the unconscious. And this is not so good when you try to understand what's happening in this man's brain, mind. If you think of thinking and feeling, the neocortex actually is heavier for women than men. Yeah. And what we do in quantum science for both men and women, we work to build a balanced character between thinking, feeling, intending, and this includes balance at the level of the relationships, as well as the profession and their dharma eventually. because traditionally we have this family, career, and personal growth, and that's it. Yeah, but in quantum science, we go towards understanding deeper life and its mechanism. And understanding is the basic for intent and later on manifestation. Truly, understanding has a huge role, and it takes commitment and creativity. And when you speak about this creativity, the principles that you heard about in quantum science, no locality, again, it's a plus for women, because the women, again, because they are easier connected usually to their hearts, this is the place where we engage easier, the no locality. And again, because of the problem with Manipura chakra, we need to learn to not compromise, you know. But otherwise, again, the heart is the biggest source of non-locality. We should use that. And then discontinuity, the second principle, may be easier for men because it implies more focus, but it's not always like that. And then tangled hierarchy, the third principle, again, it may be easier for women because for men, it's a little bit more hard because of all that competitivity, you know, and the hunting situation and all that, which again, also for women, unfortunately, you see a lot of competitivity, but still it's easier. The women have a bigger chance for manifesting tangled hierarchies. And again, this tangled hierarchy requires morality and respect. So there is a lot to say, but for now, that's all I will say.
Thank you, Dr. Onisar. It was really enlightening, and I hope that you will have a practice at the end of the show today for our viewers who will not only be watching live now, but thousands of them will be watching this video on Facebook after they are posted, and they will get benefited from what you do. Well, now over to Dr. Goswami again. So, in answering the previous question, you talked about marriage. Now we have again received these set of questions, which essentially says that there is this midlife crisis. Beyond a point, sex is not interesting. A large driver which keeps the couple together is no longer that strong. So how do you handle that?
Very good question once again, Krishanu. Okay, so how do you handle these doldrums that are very natural for a married couple to encounter, or even living in couple? Marriage is just a commitment. I mean, people can live together and still be very committed. Just depends on what your nature is. Are you a committed type or not? Okay, this is why commitment is important. What has happened is that when you discover love, before you already made one progress, you realize that sex is not just for reproduction, sex is for pleasure. But once you discover love, you have discovered another better function of sex, which is sex can be used as an exploration of love, which is why, of course, linguistically in English, we say sex is making love. Beautiful phrase, making love. Where did that come from? From this idea. Sex can be used as a wonderful vehicle of exploration of love. But like any creative exploration, if you ever try to be creative, problem solving in any which way, in creativity, new meaning, if you have done that, it's fraught with periods of that doldrum. Things don't come, ideas don't come. Okay? Every creative person has to learn to accept that. This is why you need commitment. Commitment says what? Look at the beauty of the Christian marriage vow in the West. In sickness or in health. Everybody can love when you are in health, in good spirits. But try to love when sickness hits you. What is sickness? Sickness is feeling of separateness. What is happiness? Remember, feeling of expansion. We are connected. When we are not connected, we are sick. not just physically. We are soul sick. We are love sick. Realize that. So that happens. And when that happens, your commitment will put you through. You are committed. So you continue the exploration. You continue the exploration and you realize that yes, these periods are just, these failures are just a pillar for success, eventual success. You will break through where love will become more and more unconditional. You won't need, you won't need any prop. Before, sex was a necessary prop, necessary entry point. But when you don't need it, then sex becomes purely for fun. It's not coming from the need of the brain circuits. So you have built-in brain circuits, the 4F response. We see a member of the opposite sex, immediately that tendency of the fourth F, you know the word I'm talking about, that comes up, having sex. But that won't happen when you learn to love. That will still happen, but it won't be a primary occupier of your consciousness when you see a member of the opposite sex. Isn't that a wonderful way of avoiding things like sexual harassment that women, even today, in a civilized society, constantly have to deal with? Because once you have uh, learned to love, you just cannot look at another human being with that ultimate disrespect of violating her privacy. You just don't do that. Your character has changed. And this is the ultimate goal of the exploration of love, to make a wonderful, loving, expanded consciousness human being out of you. Okay? Try it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Goswami. And for the viewers, this is a fantastic example of what knowledge can do, what these educational programs that we are doing can do. If we take these things seriously, then just imagine the kind of positive social impact it will have. If people take these things as they should be, just imagine the kind of reduction it will bring to the harassment cases all over the world. So this is just a glimpse of what you can do if you are part of this journey, and you can not only do for yourself, you will make the world a better place. With this thought of making the world a better place, let us go to Dr. Onisar for a practice that will help whoever would like to practice it. Over to Dr. Onisar.
Thank you, Kisano. So we will do now, and then if you like it, you can also do it at home if you want in the morning to start your day. It is a short method recommended by Dalai Lama for amplifying love and compassion in the world. And as you probably know, it is very, very worthwhile to start your day with an inspiration, with something which is expanding your heart. And then, if you know the creative process, then you use the intent, right? In the stages that you probably know. But anyway, when you know what you really go towards, like a higher thinking, highest feeling towards your archetype, for example, or towards manifesting love, because you know that love is healing, you know that love is giving you all the energy, all the inspiration you need, then you can use that as an intent. So let's do it together for a few minutes, this simple exercise, which again can be done at the beginning of your day, right? And you can close your eyes and again relax, keep the back straight. And you can, if you need, you can place your palms on the chest, but it's not necessarily, only in the beginning, maybe. And then you can spend a few moments reminding yourself that we all want the same thing in this world, which is to be happy and loved. And there is a bridge of love between all of us. And then send love, this love that is the fabric of the whole universe, towards yourself. Love and acceptance. And then also send it to your dear ones, to the people that you will meet in the day, to everyone that you know, and eventually to the whole world. And as we inhale, we send this love towards ourselves. And as we exhale, we emanate this love as if we are the sun, and the sun is emanating its rays unconditionally towards the others. Let go any judgment or criticizing. And in this process, if various faces of people that you know come in front of your eyes, simply emanate this love towards them. So again, when you inhale, you offer to us this love because we are unique, and in the essence, we carry the same divine essence. And when we exhale, we emanate this love towards the others. Inhale, exhale. And then you should try to do this with everyone that you encounter in that day, and try to expand this attitude during the whole day, remembering that we are one, actualizing this oneness. Without actualizing this oneness, we are not really one. And remember that we can and we need to really love ourselves and each other. And this love will open the gate to higher experiences, realizations through this non-locality. It's a very simple practice, but very powerful. It's enough to even do it for 5 minutes in the beginning of your day to have a wonderful day. Thank you. Krishana?
Hi, Dr. Anisa. It was really, really wonderful and a short one at that, so that people would be able to practice it, like you said, every day morning. If you take some time out and do these practices, they are guaranteed to give you positive results. Well, thank you for being with us this long. And I'll just repeat that if you want to know more about the programs that we are running at this point, please visit www.amitgoswami.org and visit the Quantum Activism Vishwalayam tab. You will get all the information about our courses there. And as we are continually discussing this video series about sex, love, and new physics, which has generated quite a bit of interest among people, is also going to be available very, very shortly. Once it does, we will let you know so that you can look at it and see if it can help you change where you are and to go where you want to go. Thank you so much and see you again next Friday.
Hello, everyone. This is Amit Goswami, quantum physicist, consciousness researcher, and sometimes quantum activist. I am going to speak to you about sex, love, and the new physics. What does physics have to do with sex and love? And today, many people are even confused about why should we have to mention sex and love separately? Isn't sex the same thing as love? Or put the other way, love is nothing but sex. When we have sex and we allow sex to dissolve into love, then very interesting thing happens to the heart. It's no longer just a blood pump. It picks up an additional characteristic, a purely quantum characteristic. This is where quantum physics comes in. And this polarity is what makes love so full of wonders, so full of something that we need to know, that we want to know, that will make my life wonderful. Thank you.